she had a shoulder conflict, so she kind of had to send some people to other people.
I did that 2008.
She ended up getting some of them back, but not all.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, it is 11 o'clock. So thank you everyone for coming to the very first meeting of Village of Lansing Commercial Area Advisory Committee. I'm Carolyn Greenwald. I am a member of the Board of Trustees and the Deputy Mayor. I started my work with the village on the planning board, and I served on the planning board for about 5 years, and I've been with the trustees for about 5 years. Historically, my career is as an attorney. I came to this area first as an undergraduate, and then I stayed for law school. And my practice area has primarily been writing briefs for other attorneys, so being a ghostwriter, which is a career that nobody will have anymore because now those attorneys can use AI to ghostwrite their briefs. That's okay because I am almost at retirement age. So let me admit 2 other people. Hi, Spencer and Mike. Can you guys both hear me? Just missed my introduction. Mike knows who I am, so that's okay. Spencer, I'll just leave my identity a mystery to you because you just missed it. So anyway, I was on the comprehensive plan committee. In fact, I was the chair of that. And we were thinking about the goals for the village. And one of the things that comes up all the time is communication. And another thing that comes up all the time is our economic area. Our village is extremely unique. We're only 4 square miles, but in this, we have 3 malls, an airport, single family homes, and apartment buildings. And it's just, there's so much here, which is actually quite wonderful. And we love it, but also it's special. And so to keep the communication between all these different groups is something that we're thinking about in the comprehensive plan on how to improve. And so having a group dedicated to the commercial area will really help it. I hope one of my goals for this group is to enhance that communication between the businesses and the residents and the village government, and to keep those communication lines open to see what we can do to help be a very vibrant area. Vibrant includes vibrant businesses. It includes a walkable community. It includes, the villages being happy, the businesses being happy, the government running smoothly, and all those things. And this group, my hope for this group is to really enhance that process. So that's who I am and kind of what my goals are for the group. I also have some goals about some specific tasks I'm hoping this group will undertake once we sort of get our vision kind of aligned, because we're a brand new group, and that is to work on some of the design guidelines that impact the village commercial corridor. I sent those to you. They are 20 years old and outdated in terms of zoning. I'm hoping that we're going to have some help on that project because I applied for and we were accepted into a Cornell design studio that specifically looks at what they call like complete streets. And so I'm hoping that this group will be the liaison between the village and that project. So that's like a specific upcoming task I'd like to do. But my overall task, the reason I wanted to start this group is really those communications between the residents and the businesses and the government, and then see what areas, we can actually impact. Because there's some things we can't do. Because some things are beyond the scope. We're not commercial developers. We're just the municipality. So that's who I am. I think we'll go around the table clockwise, and then we'll go to the online group. So Emily, I'll give it off to you.
Okay, so hi, I'm Emily D'Alessandro. I grew up in Lansing, New York, went to school at Cornell, moved away for about 10 years, and then my husband and I came back in 2022 to start our family here. I have 3 young kids. I work in commercial property management. I have my own little company. My family owns commercial offices in Lansing. We have this building right across the street here, 2415 North Triphammer. I have a building downtown, a couple of residential on Janiver. I used to live on Janiver, now moved and live out in Lansing, but very interested I've been learning a lot as I've been working as a property manager about zoning and business and what is allowed and what isn't allowed and how it all kind of flows together. I find it very interesting. We have a new building going up in Lansing, back behind Scoops. There's a new office building that's close to completion there. So that's been a very interesting project, kind of learning from site plan all the way through.
Is that part of the town now? Or is it-
No, it's different. The town barn lands end and we're the next parcel over.
Oh.
So that is privately owned property.
No, but it's in the town.
It's in the.
It's the town, okay.
It is the town of Lansing, not owned by the town. There is town lands right next to,
Okay.
kind of bordered by town lands, but yes, that is in the town of Lansing. So, anyways, that's who I am.
Nice to meet you.
So Emily, before we move on from you, do you have some ideas of what you're hoping to get out of this group and what this group might look like in your vision?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm very interested in what the guidelines will be. I mean, with my building right here, it was very interesting for me to read the comprehensive plan and the outdated guidelines.
I didn't expect you guys to read the whole thing because it's 71 pages. That's why I was like, read the business sections.
Yeah, I got through most of it, but no, I think I'm very interested in what zoning will look like and how it will impact what we have here. So yeah, just kind of interested in looking to contribute in any way I can.
Yep.
So I'm Matt Steele. I'm the property manager for Cayuga View Senior Living, which is over on Cinema Drive. I've been doing it for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a government contractor, and then I came out of a 35-year career in radio and television broadcasting. So that's probably something that I can offer the group is copywriting and that type of thing, media stuff. I've also got the ability to do some audio production in my home. So that's something else. But I was living down in Washington, D.C. for probably about 20 years. And then I came back to help my mother with her mother back in 2014. And after my grandmother passed away, I figured I'd stick around for a while. And I kind of fell into this job at Cayuga View, and I like it. I've been there, like I said, 8 years, and like doing it. So I'm hoping to get, just give back, serve the community, but also keep in touch with what's going on because I work here. So
Did they ever fill the bottom portion of that with retail?
yeah, we did. Yeah.
did.
Why did you come look?
No. Up across the street that I used to go to.
Oh, okay.
For something.
Yeah, we've got Whole Wellness Counseling, which is a counseling center in one of the units, and the other one is the Historic Bridge Club of Ithaca. They have their club in our other space.
So you've been there the whole time it's been open?
I was there from the day they opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is the occupancy?
Great. I mean, we have very, very little turnover. We're senior living, 80% of the people that are there are over the age of 55, and the majority of them over 70. I just had a 100-year-old man move out. God bless him. We do allow some grad students in from time to time when we have, space, and it's conducive to what we're doing. But we're renting like 6 months out, so it's good.
What was the other one besides the Bridge Club?
Pardon me?
Besides the Bridge Club, what's the other commercials?
Whole Wellness Counseling. It's a counseling center.
Great. That can stock.
There you go. Give you an apartment.
You
You
did
can,
get
and once you get the price, you can go to the counseling center.
There
You'll
you
feel good
go.
about that.
Uh,
Maybe go next door and earn some money, win some money.
I'm fine over there, thanks. I'm Crystal Mullenix. Born and raised, I was raised in Trumansburg. I moved from Trumansburg, like little Mikey in the office, raised in Trumansburg. He was behind me in high school. I'm older, yeah. And I moved to Lansing 30-some years ago. I've loved Lansing. I love raising my kids there. My 5 grandchildren are also in school there. I have been 21 years in this particular location. And when I moved in, I spent a lot of time in this office because we moved that from residential to commercial. So I got it zoned, and then of course the zoning changed a few times, but I got that rezoned. I want to see this because I see easily 250, 300 people a week, right? They would like to be able to do more walking, like we said, they have an easier access. I didn't know until I just talked to a client, I left at 9 o'clock this morning, that there are walking paths that Jody's going to take me to. I didn't know they existed, so we really have to get that out there so people know that. Because people really do want to walk their dogs, and I love elderly people. I love elderly. I want to help elderly people. We have We have nothing for small children and we have nothing for elderly people. It'd be cool if we could, stamp us.
I'm also the chair of the
Go to.
Greenway Committee, and we're redoing the Greenway plan this year, and we obviously are very attuned to walkability, but also the fact that people don't really know where our trails are and how to get from park to park. So we will be creating, I mean, this is like an 8 to 18 months out project, but we will be creating a map that will lead you, guide you. Some of it's going to be in trails or sidewalks, but some of it might actually also be on the road. So how you can get around the village from park to park and how you can get to leave the village and get to other trails. So a trail map is on the horizon.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, it's just a volunteer thing I would this, so everything takes a long time, but
Post it right at my work. I have Love
Yeah.
Life, Live. I have a lot of
that's great. I would love that if you,
things that I post and people look and they read and, I mean, that I would love to contribute a lot.
and then hopefully at each park, there'll be both a map of the park, but also a map of if you wanted to get to the next park, how you would go. That is something we are
Maps are cool.
very aware of.
Treasure maps are cool, yeah.
There's a promotion right there.
Yeah, there you go. And like he said, the media, you have somebody walk around with their cell phone today because that's what people do and just talk about it as they're walking. It's good stuff for the village. And until you said all that, I knew everything about the fact that we had the malls and we had all this stuff, but I didn't realize we were so small with all that in it. That's a way cool thing. Way cool. So I will repeat that at work. Yes, I will.
Well, it's in the first paragraph of the comprehensive plan. That's how I know it by heart, because I wrote that. So, yeah.
I'm Patrick Shanahan. I grew up here too. The internship coordinator for entrepreneurship at Cornell.
Which was that again? I missed that part.
I'm
You
sorry.
were saying your job at Cornell?
I'm an internship coordinator for entrepreneurship at Cornell. Lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
he's not talking about enough.
Prior to working in entrepreneurship at Cornell, I worked in athletics for about 20 years in a number of different roles. My most favorite role was being a sports photographer for the department for like 15 years. I kind of phased out of that. Like I said, grew up here. One of the things I've noticed, I mean, I ask a lot of questions, but one of the things I've noticed, like it used to be the Sheraton, and then the Clariton and all that, so big empty hotel. Is that part of the village?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
No.
That's on my list to talk about.
At our trustee meeting we had a joint meeting with the Board of Trustees and the Planning Board, and I brought up that article that you all probably saw that the city, I think it's the city of Ithaca, is considering a tax, like a registry for vacant buildings. And immediately I thought the village should have a registry for vacant buildings. And so I volunteered to work on that with the village attorney.
Oh, weather. Everybody's going off.
Someone say something about a tornado warning?
Yeah, we're giving you a warning.
To 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Okay, Rob, why don't you introduce yourself right after Patrick's done? Is that okay? Because I saw that you have to leave. Okay.
Yeah, so, I see that building, the mall, just these big empty buildings that should be utilized. I don't know how you can, I don't say force them to do something, but something should be done, like, especially the hotel's been sitting there forever. It'd be a great place for like a conference center hotel. But
You won't get any argument from me.
yeah, and I don't know how you can control that, like, because it's ugly.
We'll start with, I just found out also that we are not currently doing fire inspections, but we can direct, and I'm gonna make this an agenda item for the very next trustee meeting. We can direct Mike to start fire inspections, and when he does those fire inspections, if anything's not up to code, they will need to bring it up to code. And if that is a very big ask, then maybe they will change their vacancy status, which is my hope. So that'll be on the agenda for the very next trustee meeting, and I will let you know what happens there. I will almost guarantee that all of the trustees will approve of there being fire inspections of these buildings. I didn't realize that there weren't and that we had an opportunity to do so until this tax just came up, and then Jody just told me this. So we will start with that ASAP.
You know, and it's a similar thing with the mall. You know, it's a big empty building and that's not gonna change with that.
So what's with the mall only with regard to the few things we can do is that we have sent 3 notice of violations with regard to the condition of the ring road. Upon the reading their final notice of violation at the last trustee meeting, we directed our attorney to bring an action in town court. And hopefully that will help to nudge those things in our direction. But unfortunately, because it was bought by, outside non-local people, they have a different agenda than we might have for that building, and there's only so much we can do, but we will, if we have any more ideas about what can go forward, the trustees are very enthusiastic about doing the few things that the government is able to do with regard to keeping that building occupied and in non-building code violation condition.
So they can't tear it down. You can't require them to tear it down and repurpose the space for something else. Isn't that okay?
Should we go to Rob before he has to leave?
I may have to step away. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm Rob Montana. I'm Vice President of the Tompkins Chamber, and I was asked to take part of this in my role with the Chamber. I'm excited to actually hear more, not be part of the conversation. I don't have a lot of connection to Lansing other than I go there sometimes. I go to the Y usually weekly and come up to the mall. So I'm just excited to be part of the conversation with all of you. And yes, I may have to step away because we've got staff up in T-Burg and we've got the warning happening. So I might have to step away. But what I'll do is I'll just mute myself and turn my camera off and leave the meeting going and come back as I can.
So Rob, before you do, I'm just curious about
Sure.
the chamber being actively involved in some other, like, are you in the Downtown Alliance, which is different from this, but has some similarities? Have you any experience with working in a group like this?
We work with the Downtown Ithaca Alliance and Ithaca Area Economic Development. I've been working with them on some of the just cause conversations that have been happening with the city. We've been part of some of the countywide minimum wage convenings. So I've been a part of that. But I'm not on the DIA board myself. We do have staff that are, but we are working to increase our connections with all the municipalities. So we're hoping to build more relationships, with the different communities to talk to the folks that are there. Because you're
Well,
all
to
the
the
experts
extent
of
that
what's going
you
on
see
in your
something-
towns.
Sorry. To the extent
No.
that you see something symbiotic between this group and any of those other groups, definitely keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we can use your expertise there. I also met with the Ithaca Area Development earlier this year, and they have a new director. Right?
Yes. Yep.
And so he came up, he wanted to talk to the village about these kinds of things, just like business, just business development, economic development, and just what they could do to maybe help.
Yeah, and I've been going to the community conversations that we've been having even before I was in this particular role, just because I find those conversations helpful and interesting. So I think there are a lot of the similar themes, and I think it'll be. I'm hoping that I can help the group, and just sharing things like, oh, I'm hearing this over here or that there, So. Anyway, I'm happy to be part of the conversation and support it however it works.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, we'll go
Thanks.
back to Matt.
Okay, my name is Matt Wall, Wall. And so I'm alphabetically inferior to Matt. Yes. But I'm here, I understand, also as a resident representative. My wife and I downsized about 8 years ago and moved to the East Point Apartments, right within walking distance from here. We like it there very much. And but I'm like some of you, also a local guy. The house we sold those 8 or 9 years ago was where my family lived when I was born. And so that was a major move for me, which I to this day, I don't regret having to keep up a big property with 5 acres to mow and everything else while I was otherwise busy with a full-time job. So I like watching the other guys mow the lawn at East Point. So in terms of my local, I go way back. I also know from reading your report that demographically I am in a severe minority here, owing to my age. So I started out in Ithaca. I attended the Immaculate Conception School where I was tortured by the Sisters of St. Joseph for 9 years. And then Ithaca High School, Ithaca College, and Cornell University. So I have the educational grounds kind of covered. I think the only reason I might have come to the attention of Carolyn and this group is after we moved into our spot, we picked our spot at East Point Apartments very carefully before anything was completed there. So I watched it all being built, and we were right on the corner of green land across the street from Borg Warner's extensive property, and then on the right, bordered by what has been for many years known as the CAAC building, which is also a very leafy green thing. And then all of a sudden, there was pretty imminent talk about a major high-density building, residential building coming in right next door where that CAAC property is. And I took notice of that, and I began to get information, and that's how I got to know people here a little bit. And I just expressed my opinion about how I thought that kind of density was appropriate for this area. I didn't think it was, frankly. And I only heard just yesterday that the development proposal for that area, which includes what I just spoke of, which is a 20 Bomax, and then in an adjacent parcel which borders on Warren Road, which apparently I always thought was the same developer, which may or may not be true. So it's been sort of an uphill slog for what I recall from them. And I think even very recently that there was another determination on the part of the board about that. Anyway, long-winded way of saying that's why I sort of took an interest in this kind of thing in my own self-interest. But otherwise, I hope that I'm completely objective about the balance between residential things and business-related things. My own career was for 30 years at Ithaca College in a variety of different administrative roles, and I can tell you anything more you want to know about that, but that was a long time ago. So that's Matt Wall with a W.
Are they still building townhouses?
I'm sorry.
Are they still building townhouses down below you?
Yeah, that's right to here. That's been a longstanding proposition, and the immediate geographical landscaping profile, I think, is pretty well full from what I can tell just by looking at it.
Yeah.
But the developers also own a lot of vacant land that goes from where we are right down to Ned Hickey Park. And I have a feeling that that's up for development.
There have been proposed projects. There's not anything currently before the planning board. Is that correct, Mike? But there are a couple of developments that have been proposed. There will be development in that area in some capacity is my hunch, but we don't know exactly who will move forward with what project at this time.
Mhm.
But as far as having you and connecting with you, the village government is, we're such a small group because of how many people who live here, how many of them are actually permanent residents and how many of them are actually, US citizens. We have a limited capacity for how many people we can find. And it's just such a pleasure when we find people who weren't currently active in the village in any capacity, coming on board and saying, well, I can serve on this committee, or I can lend a hand with this, program, to the extent that we have such a thing. It's really nice to keep just making those connections, and you'll work with us, and then you'll have a friend, and then they'll have a friend, and hopefully we'll get more active citizen engagement, which it's kind of tricky for us because of our demographics. So we're really happy that you guys are all here. Okay, so going back to the people on Zoom, Lisa, do you want to go next?
Sure. So I'm Lisa Schleyeline. I'm recently retired from the planning board after 16 or 17 years. And I'm a resident. I live on Cayuga Heights Road. I've lived here for 30 years. We moved here from Massachusetts. Um, I I have just continued interest in municipal government. I served on a school board in Massachusetts. So the planning board was actually easier in many, many ways. But I just really, having worked on the planning board for that length of time, I just really have been frustrated by the fact that we don't have good communication with our businesses. And some of the things that I would like to see happen, probably when changes are made to a property of commercial property, if we could get to the right people, we could say, we'd really like to see this done. It wouldn't be any more expensive to have it done if you come in at the beginning of a change. And so I would like to see communication improved with our business partners, as well as with our residents, many of whom do not know they live in the village of Lansing. Many have not had good communication about the offerings, as you've discussed with the paths. And it has to be more than just a website, I think, where people have to go to it. We have to actually reach out. But one of the things I'm hoping that we will get to is one of our assets, honestly, is, well, it's always a plus and a minus, is we have parking. And as the downtown area becomes harder for merchants and people to access, we have parking. But I'm also would love to see our parking lots, which are huge heat islands, changed somewhat so that they're safer for driving and people can't cut across lanes, with more landscaping, and make our village more attractive. Subliminally, I think the data shows that people will come to places that are more inviting in terms of where the landscaping is more attractive. And I would like to see that happen. But I also think too that we have our chair from the planning board on here, and I think some of the things that we have discussed in the past with the zoning, we would like to hear, I think, from the commercial people, some of the things that maybe need changing, especially along the corridor, maybe height restrictions or that kind of stuff, where zoning might be getting in the way. But, not always. We can have a wish list. Some of it isn't practical, or some of it, just isn't what the village philosophically wants. But I'm hoping we'll get to some of that kind of stuff, including the vacant buildings, which has been just a real frustration for everyone. But it's really hard to get to those people that own those buildings. It's a mystery to me why they want to keep the things, unless it's just a huge tax write-off of some nature. But the business of communication really is key, and getting to what some of the hopes and dreams are from you as business owners might, what we can do about it. That's it.
Great, thanks, Lisa. Next, we'll move on to Mike Baker.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Mike Baker. I am the chair of the Village of Lansing Planning Board. I've been on the planning board for 11 years, maybe, or so, I think. I can't recall. I've been a village resident for pushing 20 years. So that's kind of my job at the village. I do a bunch of other stuff for different various boards around the village too, but professionally, I'm one of the directors at Cornell Law School. I guess technically right now I'm two of the directors at Cornell Law School. So that's my kind of village job and professional job. I'm serving as the planning board representative on this board. So that's kind of my role here, is to really, and Lisa gets to chime in too, because she's been on the planning board for so long too. But really, as discussions come up and conversations happen, kind of let folks know what we can about development in the village. Some of it might not be released yet, but can at least guide people and let folks know about, if questions come up about planning, about zoning, about things like that, and maybe what the planning board can undertake, or what we do when we do get developers coming to us to want to do different things in the village. Like Carolyn mentioned, we met with a new president of the Ithaca Area Economic Development. So that was a good meeting to I think a lot of what we discussed there, her and I and the code enforcement officer and the mayor, to also maybe help out with some of the goals of this board.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And last, we have Spencer, although Spencer's actually first because Spencer was our first applicant to this committee.
That's right.
So you're first and last.
Yeah, but last but not least, caveat. Hi everyone. Carolyn, wonderful to meet you, and thanks for all your work so far. This is great. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I'm usually in Ithaca 3 to 4 days a week. Actually, it just happened to not overlap. Looks like we lost Matt, but I was going to say Matt and I have a similar background. So I was Immaculate Conception. I've been in Ithaca. I moved here when I was 3, so basically my entire life. Immaculate Conception, Ithaca High School, Cornell as well. And now I split time with Ithaca/Lansing and New York City, where I live with my wife, who I also met at Cornell. Very close ties to the area. You know, both my parents are still in town. My sister lives on North Trip Hammer. Mike Baker, you may actually know her. She works at the law school. Marcy Purcell is my sister. She lives on Trip Hammer.
I stop and scare Marcy in your office all the time. So yes, I know who she is.
Okay, nice. Keep doing that. So I come at this wonderful council from the landlord perspective. I purchased last September the Trip Hammer Marketplace on the corner of Trip Hammer and Route 13 from the only owners, the Thaler family in town. They were adamant that it went to a local operator, which I am, and it's been a labor of love so far. And to actually a lot of your points, I'm waging a war on vacancy. I think that's my biggest and most clear way to contribute to what I think is one of the nice parts of Tompkins County, the village of Lansing. I don't know how much people have seen about progress on the property and leasing like that, but we signed over 40,000 square feet of new leases in the last 9 months. We actually have a Thai food restaurant opening up tomorrow, 5 p.m. If people want some good Thai. Nunu is her name. She's a fantastic operator. And I'm just approaching it from a homegrown perspective, not using leasing brokers, reaching out myself, trying to get the tenant mix to be symbiotic. And to in the light blue shirt, I missed your name, I'm sorry, but Dan Holmick is the guy's name, who owns a Trip Hotel. Absolute disgrace. I text Dan weekly. I have a group ready and willing to purchase the property. He refuses to sell. So Carol, I mean, if you can increase his tax roll, if you can take it by eminent domain, whatever it is, I'll take it over and run it. That's on my list. Namdar owning the Ithaca Mall is harder. They're a scum lord out of Long Island. Hard to get in contact with, but have real run into the ground. It's fine with me. I'm poaching tenants from there, and we'll make Trip Hammer the gem in the village of Lansing. But for everyone on this call, just know I'm laser focused on it. And Trip Hammer's marching towards 100% occupancy, which is great. All local businesses. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling a bit, but yeah, I think I can affect this council and those wonderful people on here the most from the landlord physical occupancy perspective that increases foot traffic and, increases car traffic and everything like that. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this.
Spencer, with reuse leaving, you're going to fill that space?
It's almost filled, which is
Okay.
great. So we've had a bunch of leads. That was kind of a long time coming, to be honest with you. They were bursting at the seams for a while. I wish them nothing but the best. I think they'll do very well. They're going to still have some storage / pop-ups at Trip Hammer. So that wasn't necessarily a surprise. Between us on this call, please, Long Shots Sports Bar is going to expand for some of that space. Advantage Sport and Fitness is going to expand. And I'm touring a bunch of people weekly to try to take it. Concepts ranging from a sandwich shop that partners with local farms. So it's like a butcher / sandwich shop, a nail salon, a like gaming card concept. So a lot of interest, but July 1, there's a bridal studio coming down from Skinny Atlas that's going to open up. June Bridal, they're coming down. There's going to be a great fish restaurant opening up in the Old Ithaca Coffee location called Fish Fryer. They're opening up in August. So we're getting new restaurants up here and, trying to breathe some new life into it.
Spencer, this is Lisa Schleierlein. Could I ask you, is there
Lisa.
any insight you could give us about why the Sheraton owner doesn't want to sell?
Well, he inherited the properties. He has no rhyme or reason to get rid of them. That's what happens when you come into money. You don't have to work for anything. Not to parse my words. No, other than I don't know if there's any debt on the property. I presume Carolyn can opine on it if he is current on taxes. He wants to see the world burn. I've never seen people run properties into a ground willingly like that. It's the same with that the Cayuga Blue.
They own that also. It's the same owner.
He owns
Yeah,
both of
same
those.
owner.
Yeah.
Who in their right mind runs a property? Sorry, this is
I don't know. That's
issue
why
that
I
I'm
asked
like
the
passionate
question.
about, but I don't understand it.
Oh.
I've actually never seen anything like it.
Or he didn't left now. He was local. He lived in, looked at his house.
Our building code officer, I just got a call from the mayor and Deborah Dawson saying that there's a critical warning that we should be sheltering. So just as all as you all know,
Do you guys want to,
it's up to you.
prefer to go home?
I probably should get to the building.
Okay,
I have clients.
okay.
I'm staying nowhere. I'm driving toward her and it's over.
Okay,
So so you want to call it now or?
it's up to you. It's up.
Um,
I relayed the message.
well, let me just, yes, well, why don't we call it? I will just say one thing.
Well, because that critical air comes through everybody's phone and you all know, because I heard everything what's going on. He just wanted to make sure that we knew. So he was
It's okay.
suggesting.
We end the meeting, but I'll just say what I wanted to do today, which is actually a difficult task to do with 10 people in person. So the trustees asked me when I created this group for the group to create a vision statement. And it's something that's difficult to do like by committee. So it might actually work even better if we do it by email. So maybe what I will ask then is if I tell you, what we have in that original founding document, which you've all seen, but it's, the committee will evaluate the current commercial conditions in the village. I'll send this to you, don't write it down. And recommend goals, direction, changes, enhancements to the village commercial districts with an emphasis on the Trip Hammer corridor. The inaugural group will be tasked with creating a vision statement for the committee with the goals of creating a safe, vibrant, walkable, aesthetically pleasing commercial district for the village. So that's what we are working with. And we do have to submit to the trustees because they asked for this, what that final vision statement is going to be. So I'll send you guys that paragraph. And if you can send me your comments, maybe we'll do it as a Google Doc. Everyone can comment on that Google Doc. And then we'll pick that up at the beginning of our next meeting. The other agenda items at the next meeting will be to get your feedback on what we have in the comprehensive plan and what we have in the design guidelines and what some of your ideas are from those two documents. And those were the things that I wanted to talk about today. But in light of the mayor calling Jody, I think that everyone should make their decision about where they want to be right now, just to stay safe. Well, thank you guys, everyone. I think this is the perfect group of people to be enthusiastic about this and to, find our way towards greater communication and greater commercial success for the village. So thanks everyone so much. Sorry, we didn't quite.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Matt, did you know Phyllis Countryman?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She was